If you really want to find the soul of a nation, where do you look? It's not always in the history books. Sometimes it's hidden in poetry, in the myths that everyone grows up with. Today, we're going to unpack a really powerful poem that's like a key to understanding the very heart of Vietnam's identity. So, let's dive into this tribute and see what it shows us. Okay, so our whole journey kicks off with these two lines. You can almost hear that echo, right? It's a sound that just pulls you back in time, all the way to the dawn of a civilization. This is where the story begins. And our first section is all about that beginning, a beginning symbolized by one of Vietnam's most ancient and important artifacts, the bronze drum.
So the poem talks about 4,000 years of history. Just let that number sink in. 4,000 years. That beat of the bronze drum, well, it's not just a sound. It's a rhythm that has been pulsing through millennia, kind of guiding the whole nation.
Now this drum, specifically the ancient Dung Son drum, is a real archaeological treasure. But in this poem, it's so much more than an object. It's a cultural touchstone. It stands for power, for community, and for direct line back to the very first ancestors. It's like the sun that's guided people through the darkest of times. So we've looked at the symbols the people created. Now the poem turns its focus to the land itself. Because for the Vietnamese people, the land isn't just dirt and rock. It's a living, breathing connection to everyone who came before. I mean, that imagery is just beautiful, isn't it? The poem is telling us that a place like Nha Linh Mountain is not just some spot on a map. No, it's sacred ground. Every single piece of it, every grain of soil, is filled with the spirit and the memory of generations. It is the ultimate spiritual anchor. All right, so if the land is sacred, then who are the people that are born from it? Well, this next part gets into the foundational myth of the Vietnamese people, and this story is absolutely central to their identity as a whole. So the story goes something like this. You have a powerful dragon lord from the sea, and he falls in love with a beautiful fairy from the mountains. From their union, they don't have just one kid. They get a sack of 100 eggs, and from those eggs hatch 100 sons. But eventually, they have to part ways. 50 of the children go with their father back to the sea, and the other 50 follow their mother up into the mountains. And right there, from that separation, a nation is born. And this is the brilliant part of the myth. Even though they divided, they all came from the same 100 eggs, the same two parents. It creates this shared sacred ancestry for absolutely everyone. It doesn't matter if you're from the coast or the highlands. It fosters this really profound sense of being one giant national family. Okay, so from that incredible origin story, the poem shifts gears to define the spirit of the people themselves. And to do it, it uses one of the most elegant metaphors you can find in nature, the lotus flower. This comparison is just so direct and so powerful. We all know the lotus, right? It grows up from murky, muddy water, but it rises above all of that to bloom, totally beautiful and unstained. The poem draws a direct line. The Vietnamese people, through endless wars, invasions, and all kinds of hardships, have kept their spirit pure and resilient. Wow, this line just highlights that incredible sense of endurance. Armies can come and go, empires can rise and fall, but the people and the land, the mountains, the rivers, they remain. It's this powerful statement about an unshakable national spirit. The poem then pivots a little, and it feels like it's speaking directly from the ancestors to the younger generation. This part is really a call to action, a reminder of who they are and the incredible legacy that they carry. So, Lac Hong refers to the ancient tribes of Vietnam, the very first people. This is such a moving message, especially for those who might be living far away from home. It's a call to never, ever forget your heritage. It's basically saying no matter where you go in the world, the spirit of your ancestors is flowing right there inside you. So this brings us to a really important question. I mean, when you have a culture that's rooted in thousands of years of history and myth and poetry, how do you make sure that legacy doesn't just end up as a museum piece? How do you keep it alive and breathing? And the poem's final section gives us the answer. See, remembering isn't a passive thing. It's a vibrant, living tradition that people actually practice and renew every single year. This is how it's kept alive. The reverence for the ancestors we've been talking about is actually acted out every year in a huge national holiday. On the 10th day of the third lunar month, people all across the country, and the world really, light incense and pay tribute to the Hung Kings, those legendary founders. It's a massive day of national pilgrimage and unity. This ancient Vietnamese proverb is really the philosophical heart of this whole thing. It's such a simple but profound idea. When you benefit from something, you always show gratitude and respect for where it came from. The nation is the water, the ancestors are the source. And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. This entire poetic journey is all about remembering a source. So it kind of makes you wonder, what about in your own life? What family, what history, or what heritage is the wellspring of your own strength?